I'm Becky Trout Fryxell. I am at the University of Tennessee, and I am an associate professor in entomology and plant pathology. From is a big word for me because I've moved a lot. I grew up in downtown San Diego, probably 5 minutes from the airport. But I've moved, to Kentucky and Arkansas, and Northern California too. And so right now I'm at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm an entomologist, and that basically means I study insects and arthropods. And what's really fun about my position I guess in my very biased opinion, is the discipline that I work with. And so that subdiscipline is medical veterinary entomology, meaning I work with mosquitoes, ticks, and flies, and all of the things that nobody likes, but are really, really important because they transmit pathogens to humans and animals. And I'm trying to figure out why this mosquito is here and not over there, and why, some kids are getting sick and other kids aren't. I help try to prevent bad things from happening to humans and non-human and human animals. And I say that because it's different paperwork, by studying mosquitoes, ticks, and flies, the things that cause problems. So I did my undergraduate in biology, and I received a minor in communication. And really those two things were important because if I can't communicate what I'm learning about and what I'm studying, then what's the point in doing biology research? So what got me interested in entomology? Circumstances. I really liked asking questions and kind of studying hypotheses. And I've liked that since I was little. But the thing that really kind of happened is I saw science in action. So I was an undergraduate at a university, a very small liberal arts school with probably, 1,000 people, if that, at the school. And at that time, there were a bunch of horses that were dying, and nobody could understand why these horses were dying. And that was in Kentucky. And it came out to be a little tiny caterpillar. And so this story is absolutely insane. So these caterpillars are really, really fuzzy. They're really hairy. And on the caterpillar, those hairs, there's bacteria on it. And so these horses, being horses, were just out in pasture, chewing and doing what they do. And they accidentally ate these caterpillars. And when they ate the caterpillar, the hair came off because, they were chewing it. And the hair crossed the digestive system into the circulatory system. And because that bacteria was there, it was causing an immune response. And that immune response caused all of their offspring, their foals, to die. And then that same year, West Nile virus came into the US. And so I just thought, holy smokes, there's so much out there that could be causing problems to humans and non-human animals, that's tiny. And so, yeah, so it was a little tiny caterpillar that totally sparked my interest because they were hurting horses. I like to think of a scientist as somebody who's very asking questions, inquisitive, thinking about things from different angles. Not necessarily saying, this is what I do and this is what I stick with, but how can I answer it? So for me, a scientist is somebody who asks how and why, and asks those bigger who, what, where, when questions, the why and the how. When I was younger, it was always a white male with a beard and glasses. And I don't know why. I think the questions I asked when I was an eighth grader, about pigeons, right? I was really interested in pigeons. I was a scientist back then. And so for me, it's somebody who asks how and why. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I was at one of our society meetings, and I was talking with one of the students in our department, and I was, asking her some questions one-on-one, and, telling her, the different great things that she did. And she laughed and was like, oh, I was so nervous. You were sitting there staring at me during the presentation. And I was like, what? And she said, yeah, you were just staring. I was like, I was listening. What? That's what you do. You make eye contact with somebody when they're talking. And she said, yes, but you're the smartest person I know. And that blew my mind. But I think the fact that she said that, when I think of so many of my colleagues as being even smarter than me, was a really recent kind of eye-awakening thing where like, wow, maybe I am who I am, even though I might not think who I am, who I am. People will say no to you. People will ask you why all the time, and you can listen to them and like kind of just stop right where you are, but you don't have to. You can say, you can listen to that no, and you can turn it into a how instead. I did not get into college when I first applied, and I did not get into graduate school when I first applied. And if I would have sat there and said, taken that no, that would have not led me to where I am today. But because I asked how, just because I didn't get in, how do I get in? What do I need to do to get in? And so, I figured out how to do that. And so don't let a no stop you. Listen to yourself, trust your gut, and always ask how and why, because that's, I don't know, that's to me the most important thing about being a scientist.